we'd like to welcome you to our Hop On, Hop Off City Tour, honoring our past, embracing our future. For your safety, please remain seated at all times during our tour today, and please keep your hands and body inside the vehicle. Thank you.
Yan guys, the bus is moving. We're starting touring the whole city.
My name is Brad. I'll be driving. I'm your bus driver for today.
Well, Old Town looks quaint and charming, but a new city is emerging around us.
Thanks in part to British Columbia's heritage conservation, we don't just tear down old buildings when we need something new. We preserve their beauties and character, but we refurbish the interiors to bring them up to date. Everything old is new again.
We keep our British traditions alive, but we also...
And the patio. They're having dining patio here. Yun guys. Ang ganda ng Victoria. So beautiful. Yan.
enjoy the good life. Now the younger generations are catching on to everything our city has to offer. Victoria today is highly regarded by young professionals to work and live, thanks in part to the $3 billion economic impact of our high-tech industries. Big West has its own shopping and urban amenities, and commuters are just a jump from downtown Victoria.
We're just crossing over our new Johnson Street lift bridge here. We replaced our old blue bridge, which was also it was built by Joseph Strauss, the same man that built the Golden Gate Bridge in San These buildings that are being built are very energy efficient. You'll see gardens on the roofs and all kinds of things. On the corner here, a little bit ahead of us on the left there, is an outcropping of rock. Now you'll see these all over the city of Victoria. They're part of the original volcanic bones of this island. The main rock in our island is dark granite. It's a very hard, igneous rock. The lowlands were formed here about 15,000 years ago by ice age glaciers that were about 2 miles thick. Vancouver Island is about 500 kilometers long, or 300 miles, and about 80 kilometers wide, or about 50 miles. It's the largest island on the west coast of the Americas. On your right is the oldest Nanaimo Railway. Robert Dunsmuir built his own railway. He had coal mines up in Nanaimo, and he get his coal to Victoria, so he built his own railroad. Dunsmuir and Keystone the one who built the Castle. He was the richest man in British Columbia back then. Now, the railroad and the coal mines have long since closed, and the city's just trying to figure out what to do with the land, whether to get the railroad going again to Courtenay and Port Alberni for tourism, or just turn it into a residential area called Railton. We're now entering Songhees. This is where the original inhabitants of Victoria settled. The Songhees Nation, also known as the Lekwungen. The Songhees, along with the Esquimalt nations, form part of the Coast Salish language group that inhabited both southern British Columbia and Washington State. Directly ahead of us there is Songhees Point, also known as Palatsis. Palatsis means a place of cradles. Women used to cradle their newborn here in order to wish them a long and healthy life. Straight ahead of us, you'll see two remnants of the tallest totem pole that was ever built. The Spirit of Lekwungen. It was 180 feet or 55 meters. Unfortunately, when we started flying the planes into the harbor, they were afraid of hitting it. It was so tall. So we had to dismantle it, and those are just two of the remaining pieces. There's some over in the BC Museum. That seems a shame, folks. We are now just entering our second stop, Delta Ocean Point Resort. Yeah, this is the Delta, folks. Also, I think Marriott's involved in here as well. Stop number 2, Ocean Point Resort. Alright, we're in the harbor. To your left is our Gordon Waterway. Coming up is stop number 3, Chinatown. Victoria's Chinatown is the second oldest Chinatown in North America, right behind San Francisco. spectacular. As
The
we drive
Chinatown,
along Johnson
guys.
Street, you'll see brightly colored storefronts and a variety of unique restaurants. Victoria has spread the contemporary craft food movement in Canada. Lower Johnson
Old Town Victoria, Gates and Johnson Street shops, Market Square, and Chinatown.
hop on to admire the Heritage Building and shop to your heart's content. Or visit Canada's oldest survivor.
A redhead bridge gate, called the Gates of Harmonious Interest, marks the entrance to Victoria's Chinatown. We'll get a better look at this gate over the next within a few minutes.
Thousands of men from the Cajun province in China came through Victoria in Victoria, and Chinatown was born. And of course, with over 150 commercial including two Cobra stations, it is a 14,000 inches long.
Keep your eyes peeled and your cameras out. On the right, you'll see Fantan Alley. This crowded byway is North America's narrowest commercial street, measuring a little over 1 meter, or around 4 feet wide at either end. If you saw the movie Bird on a Wire starring Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn, the motorcycle chase was filmed right here in Fantan Alley.
The alley got its name from a Chinese gambling game called Fantan. All right, folks, have a look on your right at the famous Fantan Alley. Don't blink, though, because you'll miss it. All 3 feet 9 inches of it, the narrowest commercial street in the world. It's a street because it has businesses on both sides of it. Directly ahead here and overhead is Tom Shi Min. That's your unique gate of harmonious interest. Both Chinese and European citizens paid for this. It is inscribed with the motto, "Work together with one heart." On either side of the bus is a stone lion. Legend says, if an honest politician walks between them, they'll spring to life. However, replacement costs so far have been minimal. The gray building on your right here is the former City of Victoria Police Department. It was known by the troublemakers of the day as Asgard Hotel. On your left here, Chinese public school. Children of immigrant workers were not allowed to attend the Western schools, so in 1909, they built this one. Still operating. Big red brick building on your left is Canada's first and oldest Masonic temple. Victoria Columbia Lodge number 1 started here in Victoria in 1859. The Masons built this building in 1878.
The large masonry building just ahead is Victoria City Hall. It's Western Canada's oldest standing municipal hall, in continuous service since 1878.
Victoria's passion for preserving historic buildings began right here at City Hall. It was slated for demolition in the 1980s, but the threat of losing this building has galvanized citizens.
Just past it, you'll see our new City Hall. It's dedicated It's one of many cultural venues in our city. We don't have to go to Vancouver to experience the thrill of live performance. Theater, opera, ballet, and live music all thrive in Victoria.
Victoria's community design policies and heritage tax incentive program have won top honors from the Planning Institute of British Columbia and the International Downtown Association. original site for Fort Victoria. It was built here in 1843. Victoria was originally a trading post for Western Canada. Back in 43, there was only about 300 people there. It wasn't until 1858 that the population exploded. Rumors of a gold discovery up north got all the people down in San Francisco all excited. They loaded up on the ships and all headed up north to seek out their fortunes. Well, the ships couldn't make it all the way out there, so Victoria was the stopover halfway up. The men got off the ships here and loaded up with all their supplies and materials, and then headed north. The city boomed. Victoria became a city in 1862. By then, it was about 10,000 people. And the rose-colored building here on your right, that's one of our oldest buildings in Victoria. It was our customs building back then, built in the late 1850s. Somehow they're going to turn that into condominiums. But it just shows you the effort Victoria makes to preserve its history. But folks, that used to be part of the Inner Harbor there. Empress Hotel is actually sitting on the water. They didn't have a lot of fill, so they pounded a little over 3,000 Douglas firs into the ground as a base for the hotel and put fill around it. And as it all bars are slowly deteriorating around there, the hotel is actually sinking about a quarter of an inch a year. The Parliament buildings were finished in 1894 and opened. Both buildings were designed by Francis Rattenberry. If you look at the Parliament buildings, look right up on top of the central dome. You'll see a statue of George Vancouver, where our island got its name. To your left is a statue of Queen Victoria, where our city got its name. The big tree you see there is actually a Sequoia gigantea. It's only about 150 years old, folks. It's just a stripling. Coming up, stop number 5, Inner Harbor.
This stop, the steamship terminal and the Coho and Clippers ferries.
Ferries run from here to the U.S. with connections to Los Angeles and Seattle.
The steamship terminal, this stop.